Welcome guys to another collective reading. Hello everybody, my name is Naya if you guys are new, and on this channel I post monthly pick a card readings. So every month you get your reading in the form of a pick a card, or sometimes when I feel inspired I post collective readings just to channel the energy, and you should take this message, leave it or take it only if it resonates with you. Now usually the titles are made afterwards, hence why you probably already resonate with the title, but I don't even know the title yet. So let's see together why we had that title and what is going on. I wanted to do this collective readings especially to see the energy of the eclipses that we have mentioned before, but also I feel that there is a great energy of transition and shifting lately, so I definitely want to look into that as an intention. On top of it, if you guys want a private reading with me, all the links are down below, and if you want to receive a free meditation to unlock, to remove your limiting beliefs and help you manifest, you can sign on my newsletter on nayavisions.com, and in that newsletter, immediately as you sign, you receive a free meditation. For extra pick a cards, collective readings, and more content, you find it on my Patreon every week. You already have hundreds of videos in there and a community and a chat to support one another and learn from one another. With that being said and out of the way, let's get started with today's reading. All right, so the first thing that I am seeing for you is that a decision needs to be made. Now, it's funny that we have the Two of Swords, because in my opinion, whatever shift you want to make in your life, even if you feel the energy of like things are shifting, at the end of the day, any shift is based on decision, on your inner states. Manifestation boils down to alignment and making a decision, an internal shift. Every external shift that you see, it is always internal first, because you have the ability to quantum jump into whatever reality you want. Now, mind you, from my personal experience, I can tell you, you should manifest or quantum jump in realities that are aligned with your soul, because that's where you're going to get the most fulfillment. But technically, you can shift whenever you want, wherever you want. And to shift, the shift starts with an inner decision. Like, I decide to step into the unknown. I decide to move place. I decide to say goodbye to my old trauma and wounds, to my old self, and become this new version of me that is successful, this version of me that is doing these things. You just hop and go in your mind first, and then possibly, if you need, obviously with your action. But this is like a lot of successful people that have incredible stories to share. They will always share this commonality of, I just decided, I was convinced that I was going to do it. I was either delusional, sometimes they would say, but more, I feel possibly they could have been delusional, some people, but I feel that they believed in their decision. They made the decision to believe into whatever it is that they wanted to do, despite the feeling of stepping into the unknown. I've seen so many stories of successful entrepreneurs, successful business owners, successful YouTubers, successful celebrities, you name it, like successful fill in the blank. It all boils down to this. I made a decision. I believed in my decision. I said no to this, and that. Even though I stepped into the unknown, I didn't know what I was going to do. So this shift that wants to happen in your life, or whoever it is that is watching, comes because the universe, your subconscious mind, whatever circumstance, is placing you in front of a very important decision, and you are possibly are asking the tarot or divination in general for guidance, because you're like, spirit, guide me, give me a tarot reading, give me a sign that I am making the right decision. But what spirit wants you to know is that yes, they will give you the sign, possibly is even this reading, we're gonna see. They don't want to like completely leave you in the dark. However, what they're saying is that this decision that you're going to make will feel anyway like stepping to the unknown, or being a little bit blind or blindfolded anyway, because that is the nature of the shift. it's the Fool card even, you know. If you remember, the Fool card is like stepping into that unknown, but the Fool is very joyful when he's doing that. In this particular case with the Two of Swords, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, by the way, as a zodiac sign, this is about, you know what is best, you have to trust your intuition, and yes, this decision, this shift that you're making is gonna feel like stepping completely into the dark because you're making this decision blindfolded. Now, they do want to give you signs, but they don't want to give you too many signs because it's a test, it's a challenge to trust yourself enough to make the right decision for you. Okay, so that's the first card that we got. It's the number 2 and the Two of Swords. So now let me see what else. I am seeing a very strong spirit guide in the form of a woman next to you. And talking about in the form of a woman, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Definitely this could be the spirit guide that I am seeing. You might have known this person in your life, you might have not. They were brunette, or they were a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn if they were alive. This could be a grandparent, it could be not, it could be somebody that you met that is acting like a spirit guide now, or somebody that you have never met that is on the other side. But there is a strong feminine presence around you, giving you those signs that you're asking. Now, this card also tells me that this decision that you're going to make, this shift, has to be completely independent, and it's leading you towards your fulfillment of finances and independence. If you are a mom or you're worried about your children, because it's a very mom kind of card, it's the Queen of Pentacles is a notorious nurturing figure, a mother, could be the divine mother, but it could be that you are the mom. And if you are, you might be worried about your children, you might be worried about finances, how to provide, but this decision is your step to become the provider, to become that independent woman, if you identify even as a woman, even if you don't have children. So obviously the message might resonate with a lot of you in different scenarios, but generally, if I have to give a general message, this would be, yes, this decision is difficult. There is a lot of questions around money and how can you support yourself or be independent, etc., in whatever shape or form. But Spirit over here is saying this is your step towards independence. This is your step towards a much more stable place and a much more nurturing place, either just for yourself or the people around you or your dependent, your children. So obviously, many people hear different messages for different people. And it's a decision made with groundness that brings more stability. So I love that. So don't be afraid to make this decision. It might come with sadness. It might come with fear. The sadness and the fear that you are experiencing come from hurt, because I feel that a lot of you have to leave a very hurtful place, a hurtful relationship, a hurtful spouse, a narcissist perhaps. I feel that there is a sense of disbelief in this decision because the Nine of Wands talks about resistance. Maybe you have tried your best to stay in a situation. You have tried your best to manifest or improve a specific person or a situation even. It doesn't, or maybe this is, sorry, my dog got my t-shirt. This could be even like a career that you tried your best, a school, a university. The scenarios could be literally infinite, but what is the common ground over here again? It's making a decision to leave a place of resistance, a place of hurt, a place where you have put so much effort and you give little to nothing in return, and it just left you scarred and wounded, where possibly you were almost losing yourself. Now, this can happen during very toxic relationship where you receive a lot of gaslight, where they just tell you that you're not good enough, they criticize you about everything, they do not support you, you feel drained. But this, to be honest, can happen even in a job with a boss that is acting like this authority figure that pushes you down and is very controlling. Or this could happen even in situation like a school or in university or in any place where you have a figure of authority. I've been through that even with my university. I was studying philosophy and I felt like we were talking really not about philosophy but more about bureaucracy in that university. university, in that college. And at some point I just snapped. As an empath, probably this video will resonate with you because most of you are empaths. Even Carl Jung used to say that the empath just snaps at some point. It gives, it loses itself through the reflection, because empaths are really talented, they're gifted in feeling another person's emotion, take on their wounds, becoming like a chameleon for the other person, or the narcissist, or the narcissistic situation. It doesn't always have to be a person. And then at some point, because that is the destiny of the empath, is to awaken to their potential, into what is been happening, and to their gifts, they just snap. And the way that they snap is by recognizing their wounds, recognizing that they have indeed lost their self, and they do not snap by shouting, but they snap by withdrawing and just becoming silent and moving on and going away and never coming back. It's a very silent yet extremely powerful snap, and it could come in the form of you moving into a different career, saying no to the people that they need to hear no, moving to a different course at the university, realizing different paths. But it always comes with whatever, or leaving a relationship or a narcissistic partner. Whatever situation you might be in is really comes with this awareness of, I see my wounds now. It's like a cognitive dissonance where your brain sometimes sees the glimpses of the possibilities that you might have had with this person or with the situation. It could have been so good, like you were sold a fairy tale, but then the more you see it, the more you also recognize how hurt you are and how many wounds the situation is caused, that you have this cognitive dissonance. You have to detach yourself from the illusion. And the more wounds that usually you carry, the easier it is to detach yourself from the illusion, because you're like, if it is this good, then why am I bleeding? And I feel that you are at this point where you have bled so much, you have so many scars, that you can see that this situation is just a tragedy. It's a drama where you got to save yourself, you got to shift, you got to make that decision, because this resistance, these obstacles, they're not leading you anywhere. Another example of this particular card of the Nine of Wands that I see for you guys, like I was talking with this guy the other day, and we were talking about London specifically. Now take this as a general metaphor, but basically he was saying, I've been living here for a while now, and every year I think this is going to be the last time that I grind. This is going to be like, it's going to give at some point, it's going to give, and you keep living that illusion that at some point the city is going to give, because it must be so good. Everybody told you that it was so good up here, and there were so many opportunities. That was your dream, and you have to be loyal to your dream, and right, or loyal to the person. But in reality, you've been loyal to the potential. You've been loyal to the dream, because it's painful to admit that the dream didn't give. It is painful. It takes a level of maturity. It takes the empath to snap, like I said. And so you're always thinking it must give at some point, and it never, another year passes and it doesn't give, and you're more tired than before, and another year passes and it doesn't give, and you're more scarred and wounded than before, and then it doesn't give, and it doesn't give, up until some point where you wake up. It's like something happens where you snap, because the wounds are just too many to justify still being loyal and believing in that illusion. And that's where the cognitive dissonance also happens, where your brain is kind of split between the illusion and the fantasy and reality. This is a good place to be. It's actually not a bad place to be, but it comes with acceptance of the wound, and it comes with integration of the wound and healing and decision. But if this is resonating with, I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying, but if it's resonating with you, you're resonating especially with this card of resistance, the Nine of Wands. Trust me, Spirit is showing you this reading, and he's telling you, yes, this decision sound absolutely blind, like you're blindfolded, you don't know where you're going, but it's going to lead you to a much stable place. It's going to lead you to a place of maturity, independence, financial independence, and strength, especially, which I feel was lost a little bit in the journey. Let me get another card for you. Well, the cards are very they're very, very straightforward. I mean, possibly for the majority of you, we're talking about love. We are talking about a relationship. The Lover's card is typically a card of marriage and a relationship, but it is also a card that represents decision and decision to be made. Now, watch how all the cards are coming up right except the Two of Cups. Now, typically I love to see a Two of Cups in a reading, but not when it's reversed next to the Nine of Wands in this sort of situation, because it does indicate that the decision that you guys need to make is to abandon a fantasy of a relationship where you thought that this was love, but it was all a mess and it was all upside down. Now, I feel that some level of love with the Lover's card was there, and it is there, but it might not have been the love that you wanted, or it's just slowly became into something that you cannot define anymore as love. I do not want to push myself to say toxic yet, because there is no Devil card, there is no card apart from the Nine of Wands that leads me to that conclusion. But the Nine of Wands is a very heavy card. So even though it might not be as toxic as we think, it could be very hurtful because you're growing in different directions, because you know that a decision needs to be made, because it's generally not leaving you with happiness anymore. Or maybe you realize you don't love this person anymore and it is okay, but it still hurts because you're still holding on to what it could have been. So that is a lot of what I'm seeing. But the good news is King of Swords, Sun card, that the King of Swords cuts really not the throat, but I would say cuts short, and just is very straightforward, says the truth, is very mature in his expression. And the Sun card signifies happiness and joys and fulfillment and finding your place back into the world, finding, even if you may, your alignment. So yes, communication is necessary at this time. A decision is definitely necessary to get out of this resistance with the Nine of Wands, to admit where love is not there anymore, and to make decisions with the Lover's card that are actually aligned with true love. Now, the situation might not be completely over forever, but there's definitely a separation. It could be separation, divorce, or just breaking up that you will initiate to go back to your happiness with the Sun card, with your alignment. Now, if relationships are not involved, this is really about going back to your passion, going back to things that make you feel alive, going back to a sense of justice, and communicate this to the world where you say, I'm done with this, I'm going to follow my joy now instead. And this is going to propel alignment, is going to propel happiness, and a flow of event with the Sun card that is really lucky and auspicious. So wherever you are is really a shift that leads to more happiness, more stability, I want to say again, and just a general sense of finding yourself back under the sun, under the light, and feeling the joy of liberation. That's what I'm seeing. Let me get a last card for you guys for this message of today. The Hierophant. And guess what? New commitments arise and you become the authority. You're not getting controlled anymore. I feel for a lot of you guys, where whatever it is your situation, this was about understanding that you are not controlled by anybody. You can't be controlled by anybody. You are the authority of yourself. You are in the power. And I feel for so long you have set yourself under the control of other people. You have given away your power. And now more than ever, at the end of this 2025, you realize, I will not give my power away ever again. I will not allow people to make me feel this small and powerless ever again. I'm ready to get that level of independence. I am ready to be that authority. I am ready to take upon the challenge with the Hierophant. I am ready for the responsibility. And within that being said, I realize I can only be responsible for myself or for my children, because in that case, if you have children, you're responsible for your children emotionally, physically, and mentally, for their well-being. But besides that, I can only be responsible for myself. I cannot save other people. And I just got what, with that King of Swords, I just got what doesn't serve me anymore. And what looked like love, but maybe was just a lesson, another lesson that doesn't make me a failure. It makes me somebody with experience. It's also being compassionate with yourself, gentle with yourself, and finding back this place of authority and stability because you choose to see the wounds for what they are. You choose to heal them, and you choose to say, no more. No more of that anymore. I want my stable place. I want my independent place. And I don't want to give my power away to other people. I am finally ready to take the responsibility of being in the seat of power. Now, whatever that means, it could be you living on your own. It could be you caring for your dependents. It could be you finding better relationships that give you a sense that we are on the same page. Could be stepping up in a new role career-wise and taking on that responsibility because now you're ready. It could really be it could manifest in different ways in your life or multiple ways. But what we can take out of this reading is the resistance is over, and it's over because you make a decision that makes you shift from a place of powerlessness, or you giving your power away, to a place of, with great power comes great responsibility, but I'm ready now to take on that responsibility, and hence why I'm being crowned in a stable, authoritarian place. Whether there is a promotion, a new relationship, or whatnot. But that is the vibe, the energy that is giving back, that Spirit is giving back to you in form of this message. You are ready now to be powerful. You are ready now to be recognized for who you are. You are ready now to sit in the throne of power. Okay? And not be controlled by another person anymore. But that's a big theme that I'm seeing for you. All right, this is what I see for you guys. Let me know if you enjoy this collective readings and these random messages that I channel for you when I'm feeling inspired, or where Spirit knocks on my door and be like, they need to hear this message. If you do, remember that I post more messages like this on my Patreon. I post one video a week. The link is down below. And we also have a chat and a community where we support one another on various themes, including manifestation. I also have another channel where I pop some of my reflections as well, sporadically. And for all my private readings, the link are down below or on my website, neyavisions.com. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.